Welcome to Decades of Horror, the 1980s.
You get what you deserve in them deep barrens, you lez-beans. You won't be causing no one no trouble no more.
This is episode 261, recorded June 12th, 2024.
Gruesome Magazine.
Ah, yes. And that was the part of the movie paying homage to Deliverance, I think. My name is Jeff Mohr, and this podcast is about horror films released between 1980 and 1989. Each episode, my co-hosts, Bill Mulligan, Crystal Cleveland, and Chad Hunt, and I will tackle another classic or not so classic film from this radical, gory, influential, and gruesome decade. Joining me tonight is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl and co-host of the Gruesome Magazine podcast and her own YouTube channel, The Gothic Cottage.
Yeah.
How you doing, Crystal?
What's up? I'm fabulous. How are y'all doing? I'm excited to talk about this one. Oh, it's funny. I mean, I know that this won't come out proper exactly the way, but we are doing a film, and Father's Day weekend is coming up this Sunday. It's kind of funny that we're doing what we're doing. Yeah. So this will be out a little bit later, but happy Father's Day.
By the time I notice there's a reason to pick a movie, it's too late. You know?
Right, yeah, me too. Me too. That's why I'm like, well,
Mother's Day. So
yeah, you did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad
also joining us
did.
is Chad Hunt, comic book artist, co-host of Decades of Horror, the classic era, and Decades of Horror 1970s. Chad, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
What's going on?
Not a damn thing.
There we go. God, if only. Last but not least is Bill Mulligan, writer, director, special effects guru, co-host of Decades of Horror, the 1970s, and the author of ROM. Spell it R-A-U-M.
R-A-U-M.
Who do we appreciate?
Rum.
Somebody might think it was ROM, R-O-M, dropping off the C off by Crom.
Or
anyway,
just R-O-M, which is Space Night, and all kinds of.
Okay. So how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'll be Father's Day down in Florida for a bit.
Oh, cool.
With my daughter and my granddaughters.
There you go.
Enjoying what I understand is nice, cool, dry weather. So. I may have been misinformed.
Yeah. Well, it might be great. Yeah. I mean, different parts of Florida are, but it is, let's be real, it is hotter than it is.
The last time I was swimming with the manatees, and this time I think I'm going to be flying with the mosquitoes.
All
right.
Yeah.
Well, Decades of Horror is partnering with Play Now Media. And in fact, Decades of Horror 1980s is on their streaming channel, Wicked Horror TV. And in fact, it's on a lot more channels than that as well. We may find out later. I can't remember if that was 70s or not. We had a comment. But Play Now Media is revamping all of their apps and gradually updating all of them. And they're cool. There's one called Free VOD, Free VOD, that has ads, so you're going to see ads. But it has some interesting concepts built into it. So it'll be cool to see. When you sign up for it, you can decide whether you want ads or you can do data. And data means you get the first 45 minutes with no ads, and they will take non-personal data and sell it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Everybody does anyway. So, so you can choose that when you sign up, and you can switch back and forth whenever you want. And I think there was also an option to pay, like $2 for a movie if you don't want the ads or something. I don't remember. So he's trying lots of different marketing ideas. That's pretty cool. And we are on Free VOD TV. We're on all their free apps. That, as far as I know, it's too many of them to list. Okay. Enough of that. Also, we do have a Patreon. I don't know, Patreon peeps, Patreon sign up. And if you are a Patreon member for a small stipend per month. You get Decades of Horror episodes a day or two after they're recorded. They normally go out about 12 days to 2 weeks after we record them publicly. But also, Decades of Horror of the 1970s is recording Kolchak, the Night Stalker, the TV series, one of our episodes for every episode of Kolchak. And those are Patreon only, so you can check those out. We're up to 3, I think. We recorded the 4th one, but it's not available yet. So, yeah, if you're a Kolchak fan, do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
On this podcast, what do we do on this podcast? We start with some basic details of the film we're covering, followed by each of our first impressions of the film, and then we move into a general discussion of whatever trips our trigger, hopefully relating to the film, but also taglines. We gotta have taglines in there too. So.
Oh yeah.
And spoiler alert: this movie is 44 years old, and
Holy cow!
we're gonna talk about it like you saw it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's available. Well, I know it's on Shudder and Tubi, I think. So Tubi too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
or not to
Tubi.
you should be able to check it out. All right, our topic is Mother's Day from 1980, directed by Charles Kaufman, written by Charles Kaufman and Warren Leight. The cast includes Beatrice Pons, Frederick. Well, I should have changed those, but we'll talk about that later. Frederick Coffin, Michael McCleary, Nancy Hendrickson, Deborah Luce, and Tiana Pierce. The production company is Troma Entertainment and also Saga Films and Duty Productions. It's filmed in New Jersey.
He said duty.
I know. Chad, I know. I was like,
I know. And in fact, the lake that it was filmed near a lake in some woods, and several people mentioned that Friday the 13th was filming on the other side of the lake. And one of them was in like the Boy Scout camp, and the other one was in the Girl Scout camp.
And one of them was a good movie, and one of them wasn't.
Anyway,
interesting.
Filming dates. I thought I changed that, but I had a hard time believing this. This is the way it was listed in IMDb: September 1979 to January 1980. I don't believe it could possibly take that long. What Charles Kaufman said, I believe it was in September 1979, and he said it took 24 days to film it. So ignore that.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most of the time was spent in the woods, so yeah, a fun. I had a lot of stuff at night.
It doesn't look like December or January in those woods. It looks more September, October.
No.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it was cold some nights because there was some frosty breathing going on there. All right. Release date, September 19th, 1980. And here's another one. The budget. According to IMDb, they say the budget was $150,000, but right there in their trivia, somebody says $115,000, and Wikipedia says $115,000. So
interesting.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Either way, cheap.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Anyway, the synopsis is: 2 brothers kidnap and brutalize 3 women for the pleasure of their demented mother. But that's a pretty concise one sentence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Completely. Yep.
Sums it up.
That does it. All right. And also that was one of the girls they stowed in the dresser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how her friends found her, as her bloody hand reaches out of the drawer.
Her nails are perfect.
I know.
Her blood is pale pink.
It probably started to dry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one was chosen by Chad.
No, I didn't choose this.
Way to go, Chad.
There's no way.
First impressions when you first saw this, all that stuff.
This is the first time I've seen this, and I've heard of it, but never seen it before. I was watching that Shudder documentary Into the Darkness,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Part 3 came out, and they were scraping the bottom of the barrel with some of the movies they had on the third one, and this one came around, and I was like, wow, I've never seen that. So on Mother's Day, it came on Shudder. So I said, well, I'll pick it since we'd never seen it before, or I've never seen it before. And it's probably a good reason I didn't see it. This is a terrible movie. But
interesting.
But it's I don't know.
Trying to figure out what Crystal's going to say while he's talking.
Well,
yeah, I'm like,
I want to know what's so interesting. I didn't find it interesting at all. But I don't know. It was like they're filming a slasher movie across the lake, like Bill said. Where the guys said, and let's make our own slasher movie, and it was not very good at all. It was they couldn't make up their mind whether they were trying to make a comedy horror with this or a straight horror film, and because there's some horrible things that go on in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't necessarily funny when it was trying to be funny. It takes a lot to pull that off, a good horror comedy. So I don't think they did a very good job. Even though I liked, I was entertained by it, but it's not something I'd ever watch again. The characters were all horrible and reprehensible, and which I guess you want. But there was really some scenes in there that creeped me out too. I guess we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, just an overall blah. Didn't do anything for me.
Blah. Okay. Well,
Blah.
Appreciate that. I'm going to go to Crystal Cleveland here because
of course you are.
I just have so much curiosity here.
Interesting.
So I have never seen this film. This is my first time watching it. I liked it. Okay. Is there some scenes that I'm like, well, that's problematic? Obviously, the rape scene is super problematic, but I liked the film.
I told you guys.
It's silly. It's over the top. It's ridiculous. Those two backwoods, don't say the word backwoods. I was dying.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy. I was like, what is this backwoods BS?
We're citified.
Yeah, like, it's not great at all. Okay. I agree with Chad. He's not wrong. Like, the film is not great, but it's also very good for me. I like crap, and this is, yeah.
But did you think it was intentionally funny, or that it was?
I did
being funny because it was so stupid.
I felt like it was intentionally funny, but I could.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay,
wrong, but like the whole premise is so weird. Okay, so the way it starts off, I'm like, oh, you got this couple, they're gonna kill this old lady.
Right.
Oh. And then that's not what happens. And I did enjoy that. That was like a nice little retribution scene. It's like, I feel like they were trying to be funny because typically when you have this mother-son relationship, it's way creepier. And the way the older lady played it felt comical. Like she felt like she was doing it over the top purposefully. Right. Well, yeah, boys. And then boy, I did feel like the blonde and all three ladies took this very seriously, and I feel like they might have been acting in a different movie from the other people. Okay, so I'll say the acting is disjointed there. I feel like one half of them, they're like, I know what this is. This is a campy good time, and then the other set is like, we're in a real horror movie here, which I mean, yeah, like it was. I thought it was, other than a few scenes where I was like, that's too bad that they put that in there, but it's also the 80s, Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of weird, trust me, that scene is nowhere near like, I Spit on Your Grave or like The Last House on the Left. I mean, so we have much worse films, but taking that out of it, it's silly. It's ridiculous. Like how they tie these girls up and then they just untie them and leave them decide to leave them in the room. Then it's just, I'm like, okay.
They're kind of inbred. I mean,
I'm exhausted here with all this, but I didn't think too hard about it. And that's why I was able to enjoy it. And the store dude telling him, don't go up there. Don't go up there. And then when they come in with those bags on their head and just destroy everything.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I was like, well, and then after he said, you're going to get what you just, I was like, of course, there we go.
Yeah.
Of course.
Only because they destroyed his store. Did he say that? And
they were horrible. But that was horrible. So they're pranksters too.
And they're still wearing the masks as they're walking through the woods in high heels.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, high heels.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, I did enjoy
dragging a suitcase.
All right. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't. But it was good to me. I liked it.
Hey,
I
that's
think
fair.
that it was kind of fun and dumb.
Well, I mean, they didn't really know. The other two girls didn't know where they were going.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's true.
It was a surprise. So they didn't know that they should bring camping stuff.
Might have been one of those places that high heels are good in.
Like the girl said, I brought all of this like summer wear, and they went someplace that was snowing or something. Yeah.
Not to the Bahamas. All right. Well, let's hear what Bill Mulligan has to say about Mother's Day.
I guess I'll be the tiebreaker. So when did I first see this? At the drive-in when it first came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know what else was. I can't for the life of me remember what was also on the card because they usually showed 3 movies. And quite often the 3 movies they picked made absolutely no sense that they would be together. But I remember seeing Mother's Day and I remember not really liking it. I thought we booed the ending. We literally booed at the ending. And I don't remember much, although as I'm watching it, I remember the scenes, but I do remember not liking it. I remember reading Siskel and Ebert's scathing reviews. And then later on, this movie was banned in a lot of countries. I don't know if it was one of the video nasties, but I think it was kind of banned in England for a while. This movie had a reputation of being one of the most banned movies of the 80s. So I went into seeing this with very low expectations. And to my surprise, watching it the second time, how many years now is it? 40 years later, I find myself closer to Crystal. That I enjoyed it much more than I remember enjoying it the first time. It's not a good movie, but for one thing, of all the genres of movies out there, slashers are not my favorite, but probably my least favorite is rape revenge movies.
Oh, yeah.
Just not my thing. I don't think there's been a great one since Hannah Calder back, whatever. They're just not, I find them unpleasant. I enjoy the revenge part, but usually they have to really ramp up the rape part. I Spit on Your Grave is just unpleasant.
Yeah.
And this one, although it has some of that, is certainly not up to that level. The comedy for me I'd forgotten all about the bits at that party where the old guy is hitting on the girls by quoting Kubrick. It's like, wow, you got no game, old man.
That is so ridiculous.
That was funny. And yeah, I get what Crystal says. The women, their characters feel like they're in a completely different movie. Like they're in one of those kind of Troma-esque sex comedies from the 80s. And all kind of a Porky's sort of thing.
Funny.
And I didn't remember some parts like, damn, that one girl has maybe the worst boyfriend in movie history.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's been some bad boyfriends in movies, but this guy, you were just, is there any way he can die in this movie? But alas, he does not. So yeah, I thought they were trying to do something there, and they kind of touch on the idea that these women are in different places in their lives, and one of them is very successful, one of them's trapped at home. So you feel like they're kind of going somewhere with this, and then boom, we're into the horror aspect. And again, I had forgotten how funny the old woman was. She was just having a ball. She just looked like she was having so much fun. I had completely forgotten about the opening est kind of satire there. That was funny. The 2 brothers were, appropriately rednecky and everything. The gore's okay. And all, it's not a great film. I don't think it had any chance of being a great film, but I was really shocked at how not worthy of being banned it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
there's
sure.
really,
Yeah.
this is not the most offensive slasher film, rape revenge film out there. Not even close. And at least it tried to do.
Boogeyman was a video nasty. I think it was.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it was a slow news year, and they were just grabbing stuff. Now, some of the films on the video nasty list, like the Grim Reaper. Okay, yes. But any 5 minutes of that film has more offensive stuff than the totality of Boogeyman and Mother's Day put together. I know I think part of it was Siskel and Ebert, especially Ebert, just went out of their way to crap on this.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of spread from there. This film's reputation is completely unearned as far as being as awful as everyone makes it out to be.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm glad you picked it, because otherwise there was no chance I was ever going to revisit this film. And I don't know that I'm exactly putting it on my heavy rotation playlist in the future. But I now say this is not one of my least favorite movies from the 80s, which if you'd said, make a list of your least favorite movies you saw at the drive-in in the 80s, Mother's Day would have definitely been on the list.
Not in the drive-in?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I think, the other thing is the drive-in is not the best place to really evaluate a film, because you're with your buddies, you're in a car, the sound is crap. You're probably watching, what's going on, people fighting or making out in the cars next to you, or both, and you're distracted.
Even though I think that's one of the best places to show this movie, it's a drive-in.
You're probably right. You're probably right. We were very vocal. People would honk their horns at things they liked, and boo at things they didn't. I mean, it was very Mystery Science Theater 3000. So, but yeah, I really did enjoy watching it this time.
It's one of those movies. One of the people in the cast went to see it someplace in New York, and it was a big theater. And they said, and I think it was around 42nd Street when they still had nice theaters there, even though it was still going. Well, they had the porn stuff, but they had there were other theaters still left there that were nice. And
right,
they said they were shocked at how it was really an audience participation thing. Like when I think she I can't remember exactly what happened. She beats the guy over the head or whatever and goes running into the woods. And they said the whole damn theater yelled, "Get in the cars, idiot!"
Right.
I know.
Yeah. Well, the part about disco versus punk rock. Was funny because that's exactly that could have been a recording of my buddies and I arguing, albeit with much better teeth.
Disco sucked.
Those teeth were horrible.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. All right.
Your turn.
I just lost something. Oh, I see what I lost.
The Blu-ray for this movie.
Well, actually, it's a 4K Ultra HD.
Oh wow, 4K.
Well, how else you gonna watch it?
Of course,
from our favorites, Vinegar Syndrome.
Vinegar.
Okay, Vinegar.
But I think they do that because then it always comes with a Blu-ray, because they do a. I mean, they do a good job. They do tons of interviews and stuff. So anyway, So I saw this for the first time, like maybe I'm thinking it must have been like 3 years ago, because Joe Bob Briggs in the last drive-in on Shudder did a treatment of it in season 3, and I think they just finished up season 6. So, I was kind of but this time around, I'm looking at it and thinking, this stuff, it had some things about it that were, I don't know. For instance, the three girls had a distinct identity, but their role amongst the three changed over the course of the movie. They had arcs actually, and they all had reasons. They had bad things in their life. Like the one had the boyfriend, the other had her mother, the other one was like involved in this Hollywood, I don't know, scene, whatever was going on there.
Weird. Yeah.
Didn't quite get what her job was. And so that I thought was interesting. And the fact that they, yeah, it's rape revenge, but you know, they could have crawled off. I sort of dug the idea that they didn't run away. You know, they sucked it up and went back in there and tackled him.
Right.
So, and I also think in terms of it being bad, I think it actually looks pretty good.
I do too.
The actual
Yeah.
cinematography is pretty good.
Mhm.
Some of the effects, you know, you had to go pretty basic, and they even talked about that on the budget they had to figure out how people were going to get killed because they couldn't spend any money on it, you know. So anyway, but they actually did.
Well, paint must have been on sale for the blood.
Oh yeah. The blood was pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know, that's my least favorite blood right there. But
and the other thing that's kind of interesting is that the people involved in this movie, some of them anyway, went on to have careers in the industry. Not so much that the actors, some did, but the people behind the scenes, like Susan Kaufman, as set designer, went on to do a lot of Troma stuff, but she also did beyond that. And whoever did the costuming, that was their first. A lot of them, it was their first movie. They just got, hey, can you get somebody to come do this? You know, they didn't. So they learned from that and went on and had careers. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So yeah, and they definitely were going for humor, and I think maybe we'll get into that. And so, who can tell me? Right off the bat, whose favorite movie is this?
Eli Ross.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say Quentin Tarantino.
He guests on the Joe Bob piece and goes on and on about how many times he watched. When he was growing up, that was the movie he watched when he was a kid. Over and over and over.
Why does that make me laugh?
Oh my gosh.
It's like,
listen to Crystal. I watched The Exorcist at 8. Cleveland laugh at this guy.
No, I never saw this. I don't know how. I had never even heard of this film when I was a kid, so I don't know. I mean, he is older than me, but like I've never even heard of this until Chad mentioned it. So I totally missed this. I bet I would have enjoyed it as a kid. I mean, I like crap.
So anyway, I enjoyed it this time around. Anyway, and it actually draws some things. And Charles Kaufman is not a horror movie fan, you know. So several of the people, I think the writer might have been too. I'm trying to think of, and the editor, they weren't horror movie fans. So like,
so why did he make this film?
Well, they lied to get the job and get the experience and the credit, and then they went out and started watching horror movies. And
if you haven't made a movie before, it's either horror or porn is probably gonna, you know, get you something you can actually maybe make a profit.
That's so unfortunate.
All right. Well, it is now that time. Or
Yay.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Taglines with Chad.
Where's the Crystal song?
He's off. That's the exit. That's the exit.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Good.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. Good.
Fine. They didn't like it.
Proceed, Chad. Proceed.
So,
not many.
And Chad, once again, gets off easy. This is another one of those movies. This is what we've been doing lately. And some of the other episodes, every poster, like you had to work to find something different than the main poster.
Yeah.
And every single box, poster, everything has the same taglines on it. I'm surprised there was actually 2 here. So go for it, Chad.
I'm going to start looking ahead of time, and that's how I'm going to base picking my movies.
I'm missing something's missing here.
Okay.
That would be funny, actually.
All right. Taglines for the movie Mother's Day. If you go down to the woods today.
That appears like that's missing something.
What?
Yeah, like what?
It's
that's it.
That's from the
If you go down
Teddy
to
Bear
the woods.
Picnic or something.
Yeah.
Teddy Bear Picnic.
Oh, okay.
Little sing-songy song.
Wow, they weren't trying with that one.
No.
That was awful.
What if I do? What happens? Well,
Yeah.
leave us hanging
Thank you.
here.
I'm so proud of my boys. They never forget their mama.
Okay. No.
It works in the context of the poster.
Mm,
By itself, that's pretty lame.
That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
No argument from me.
the effort put into that is
Yeah.
minimal at best. I
Kind of
mean,
half-assing it here.
It's wild to me that Eli Roth loves this film so much because I love Eli Roth as a director. I really think he understands horror, and I think it's hilarious that he loves this film so much because
Well,
it's good. I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's not.
Love is weird.
Okay. So
It's not,
that's been taglines with Chad.
Chad's our hero, cool and rad. With him reading taglines, they can't be that bad.
Why did I do it so slow? It needs to
I
be
love it. No,
faster.
it's perfect.
So
Like,
I forget, what were we just talking about? Oh, Eli Roth.
mhm.
He basically said, I watch this so much, it's like in my DNA. And after I made my first couple movies, I went back and watched Mother's Day and was like going, oh my God, all the stuff that he copied in terms of like, they had that the scene segue was a splash of, I think, yellow or color. Yeah,
Red?
that?
Was it red?
Yeah, or was it red when you, but he used that in, I think, Cabin Fever. And he didn't even know it. He didn't even realize he was doing it. So anyway.
Well,
All right.
everything is derivative. I mean, like
Everything's influenced by something else.
mhm.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the poster.
I do like the poster.
Yeah,
That
it's a
is,
cool
I've
poster.
never seen this though. I'll tell you. I would have asked my brothers to rent this for me if I had seen this,
Mhm.
but I have never seen this.
It's
love
a really
that.
great poster.
It looks creepy.
Mhm.
It looks based on like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Or Whistler's mother.
I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Whose head is in the box?
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
question.
No guy.
Oh, the guy.
I think it's the
Oh,
guy,
the guy at the
first
beginning.
guy.
Yes, that's right.
mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. All of a sudden.
Whose head is in the box?
Gwyneth Paltrow's.
Ooh,
Even the-
ouch.
Even the Mother's
I
Day,
like that one.
the Mother's Day font with the little heart.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
nice
is an
shirt.
and I look at her smile and how she does do that. It's pretty fabulous. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
All right,
It's a
and
cool
here's another
Okay,
one. Bill
what
found.
weirdness is this? Yeah.
okay,
Is that guy in the middle from
Yeah,
a
that's
movie
one of
that
the-
we were supposed to have seen?
that okay.
It looks like the poster.
And the
for Fear and
blonde,
Loathing
could they
in Las
make her
Vegas.
look any worse? Like
Yeah.
what?
And the hooker legs. Come
And
on.
the hooker legs, they're like trying to do a swastika or something. They're on their,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a major
Yeah,
award.
It's that one's not great, but it's
And
fine.
and what
I
is
guess.
Bonne Fête Maman? What language is
I
this?
don't know. Somebody run it through Google Translate. I'm sure it's French, but
French
Mhm,
posters are usually better than this, but oh well.
That's
think
probably
whoever did
why
this-
they have like the legs.
I think whoever did this poster was also in charge of the taglines.
Yeah. Well,
Probably.
hopefully there's only 2 posters then too.
well, I think so. I thought I heard, and I didn't do any research into this. It was just something they talked about. Charles Kaufman was actually had written some comedy for somebody,
Okay.
a show,
Mhm.
and I can't think of what show it was. Yep. Don't see anything. Anyway, you're right. It was a family affair. We had his sister was the production designer. The guy in the party, the California party, that said
Yes, that was one of
distribution, and the points, gross points. That was their dad. That was the Kaufman's dad.
Mm.
Lloyd wouldn't do a cameo, but Charles did one in the opening montage with the pictures from 10 years before when they were in college at Wolf Breath University.
Wow, that sounds fun. I love it.
I mean, I thought, what you could a little bit more ingenuity could have gone into that, but okay. Anyway, the teacher that was in the class with the beard. That was Charles Kaufman. I think he did one more movie after this, and then he went to San Diego and opened a bakery, which is highly successful.
I wonder what that is like. Like, is it still around?
When I saw the Joe Bob thing, I was thinking, geez, next time I go to San Diego, I got to go seek that out. And I don't know what happened, but I apparently forgot. So now it's in my mind again. I shall do it again.
Yeah, because that sounds delicious.
It's fancy dancy. It's interesting to me because there's a lot of people in this movie that this was a non-union movie. So a lot of people used other names that were SAG actors and didn't want to get in trouble. So they called themselves the Rat Pack, right?
Yeah, which is weird. I didn't really understand all that. Like why? It was kind of wild.
Ring a ding ding.
I don't know.
Well, because just like the real Rat Pack, they're the three lovable scamps who do what they do and damn the torpedoes and they're rebels.
Yeah,
I thought they did a good job.
Yeah, I thought it actually. It's unusual for movies to actually make you believe that, three females, they talk like actual women. They like each other, but they sometimes get in on each other's nerves. I mean, it felt real, and you got to give it credit for a pretty marginal movie that they actually got the humanity of these characters right. So I did kind of care when bad stuff started happening to them. I mean, I wasn't exactly in love with any of them, but I liked them, understood them enough that I felt bad when these inbred rednecks get a hold of them.
So we have on the left there is Nancy Hendrickson, who played Abby. That's Abby. And the blonde in the middle is Trina, played by Tiana Pierce. And the one on the right is Deborah Luce. Character's name is Jackie. So Jackie is the one with this stupid boyfriend. So she seems kind of not very assertive, although she's the one that planned this trip because the boyfriend is such a jackass. And
he's the worst.
She tells him she loves him when she walks out the door.
And he's like, whatever. He does have a great line. It's like, man, I wish I could work, but I guess I'm just too sensitive.
Know. See, that's like, so.
Oh
see,
my
Chad,
God!
Come on, that's obviously funny. He's like, just being creative. I just, like it's just I can't do it.
I guess it's not that funny because I've used that line before and it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Didn't work for me.
I got to try that with my wife. I'd like to go back to school, but I'm just too sensitive. Like, well, then it's going to hurt when I kick your ass out the door.
Yeah.
And then, so Abby, the one on the left with the glasses, she's the one taking care of a mother that's, oh my God.
Okay.
The mother from hell in her life away from this trip.
And what happens to this mother who apparently can't have a bowel movement without this girl helping her? That now the girl's just going to take off. In that case, just leave. Smother her with a pillow and go get your own apartment or something.
The only callback we had to that was when she had her little breakdown and near the end and was repeating everything her mother said.
Yeah,
I'm a sick woman.
She killed mother. So the blonde in the middle is the Trina character. I don't know, what was her job? Was she like a publicist or a schmoozer, or all she did was talk about, your party last night was great, and then went around in her party talking, greeting people. Like, I didn't really get it.
Influencer. She was ahead of her time.
Back in the 80s, 1980. But when they all got together, she had the sort of take charge attitude, right? She was used to
the whole time. I mean, she was
directing
tough.
things.
Yeah, thankfully.
Well, she falls apart when Jackie dies. Yeah. Then she kind of falls apart. Yes. And then Abby's the one who had been.
But up until that point, they wouldn't have gotten there without the blonde chick. The blonde chick is what got them like out of that house, safety, like
absolutely.
She's bad.
And that's what I meant by them kind of switching roles, because the one with the glasses was timid at first, and she totally freaked out in the house. And
yes.
I liked
that though. I liked it.
I did object though to the one when they're like talking each other up about how they're going to go back and kill these idiots. and they're like, Jackie just wasn't strong enough, or she didn't want to survive, or like, wait a minute, that's kind of a little
Y'all aren't the ones
revisionism
that
there.
were taken in the bedroom and
Yeah.
I mean,
Jackie was the unlucky winner of Who Do We Kill First? I mean, that's all.
Yep.
Yeah, she was.
She didn't do anything wrong.
Mama picked her.
That's
Yep.
right. So.
Mama picked the game too. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was so creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was. Well, as soon as let me show the boys here first, because I kind of want to talk about this. So their names are Ike and Adley. You know where you got the names from?
What?
Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson. Ike and Adley were the presidential candidates in 1956.
Okay. Wow.
Well, these two are still a better choice than what we actually have. So
yeah.
Wow. Look at these two. Look at those teeth. Those teeth are.
Well, see, I got
never seen a toothbrush ever.
I gotta look this up because I keep forgetting
they're
his name. Okay.
obviously fake. I mean,
Jeff, when you get
clearly...
the 4K Ultra Blu-ray,
you'll be able to smell it.
You'll be able to see the amazing kind of.
It's nasty. It's nasty. Well, they actually had.
That's funny though.
They had a dentist make that.
Oh,
and then also they had an optometrist, somebody that made his left eye,
his hinky eye.
Like
that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was like a dead eye in there. So
which makes you wonder what's the story here? Like, why are these inbred so inbred? Who is dad?
Yeah,
why are these inbred so inbred?
And where's grandma? Because they talk about grandma.
Right. But from the sound of things, with the whole Queenie story and everything, they come from a long, proud line of incestuous couplings here. It's right.
Okay.
These are the cream of the crop. These are the best. These are the college graduates of that family.
So Ike, this is what's weird. IMDb says his name is Frederick Coffin, but he was billed as Holden McGuire. Now, the guy that played Adley, whose real name is Michael McCleary, and was billed as Billy Ray McQuaid, who was just a guy he went to grade school with that he thought had a cool name.
Yeah.
He said that the guy that played Ike, he didn't know how that Frederick Coffin got in there because his name was Gary Pollard.
Huh?
That Frederick Coffin was some other actor.
You lost it. I'm like,
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
I'm done. No, I believe you. But you lost.
He's absolutely certain about it. And what bothers me, I guess, and I think the Vinegar Syndrome thing was fairly recent, and the interviews were done for Vinegar Syndrome. I just found that interesting. Like, how could they be?
Yeah,
how could they be that screwed up? So I don't know.
Well, nothing says you're proud of the movie you're working on more than everybody changing their names.
That's facts.
So
he was Ike was kind of the dumb one.
Well, it's a relative term.
And Adley was sort of the
intellectual
psycho one, that was.
He was the thinker of the family. Yeah. I thought these guys did a good job. I thought they did a good job because it's easy to play over the top broad characters like that without anything else. But like when the brother finds his dead brother, that was actually kind of some genuine sadness. Hillbilly, sorrow there. You got a feeling of the rage and grief that he was going through, which, all right, that's nice. That's nice. That was more than I expected.
Yeah.
My brother, uncle.
So let's
oh,
that's funny.
Wow.
Gross. But
let's
funny.
touch on Mother.
Oh, look at that. Look at that third picture. Look at the glee.
I know. She's so funny.
Beatrice Pons, who was billed as Rose Ross.
Okay.
And she
had a pretty decent career.
Yeah, she didn't want to, fall afoul of the union. But it's like, lady, you look just like an older version of your younger you. It's obviously Beatrice
But
Pond.
no one is going to
fully know.
see. She knew no one was going to see this film.
That she
I mean,
thought
let's be
no one was
real.
going to see it. All these people,
Like-
all these folks back in the day thought that that adult film they made or this trashy horror film was going to show for 2 weeks, and then they were going to cut up the celluloid into guitar picks, and no one would ever see it again.
Well, did
then-
she get her pension?
I don't know.
I
She said
think
she
she
took
must have.
this-
I mean,
She took this role because it was the first leading role she'd ever had.
Oh.
That's
Has never
true.
been offered.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
and she, I believe, she went to Europe on a tour or engagements with Charles Kaufman.
Oh,
So
wow.
she was
Cool.
out. She was out about it at some point. You know, no, maybe they were billing her as Rose Frost while she
Yeah.
did that.
I
don't
get
know.
the feeling she was a hoot in real life.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, they said that she, Charles Kaufman described her as she was a serious Shakespearean actor and was serious about stuff. And before every scene, she would make him pause for a second while she sort of collected herself and then went, okay. Some of the cast members said she just was like a constant, a running source of stories, for
I'll bet.
That's
basically
fun.
Car 54, Where Are You? And
Mhm.
what the hell was it called? The Phil Silvers show that
Oh, yeah.
which was like a cast of comedians, so yeah, Car 54, Where Are You? She played Gunther Tootie's wife, which, if anyone's interested, that's available on Peacock.
Oh, wow.
I've
I've only watched
few
a couple episodes of that show.
Yeah, not me. But I would
amusing.
be interested in watching it. I mean, why not? Like,
Mhm.
Fred Gwynn.
sounds legit.
Fred
Yeah,
Gwynn.
Fred
Oh, I
Gwynn was
know.
great.
Herman Munster, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right. And
Well,
That was the only reason I watched
Cemetery.
it. Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, I like
He's a
Fred.
very, very young guy. Yeah.
And if you look at
The other guy is
IMDb,
Grandpa. Who's in the Munsters? Grandpa Al Lewis.
Al Lewis,
He
yeah.
plays a cop on there later. He's not in the first episodes, but he comes in later and is a regular.
If you look at her
Anyway.
IMDb, she makes a film in 1968, and then it's a long, long gap until she makes Mother's Day. So yeah, there weren't a lot of roles.
I assume she's doing stage stuff, because
That's probably true.
some of the other women said that they were used to doing stage work. This was their first film. So anyway, so back to the I just have to talk about this rape scene because this is just so weird. So basically, let's see, that's not the boys. Here's the boys. So not Ike, but Adley.
Which one is which? I don't know which one is
Ike
which.
is the teeth.
The redhead? Okay.
Yeah. And Adley was the shorter one that seemed
Okay.
like. Anyway, he was supposed to be the one raping Jackie or
Okay.
Deborah Luz. And that, unbeknownst to him, she went to Kaufman and said, I'm not comfortable with him doing that. So, not that I won't be in the scene. I don't want him.
Oh,
Oh,
And
yeah. Okay.
So they had a stuntman do it. The one stuntman that was still there, I guess.
Two of them. I don't know which one was which, but one of the boys and one of the girls kind of hit it off, and they started a little relationship. And they told him to hold off on that. So that's why she didn't want
The redhead and the
to do
blonde.
it.
The redhead and
Okay.
the blonde.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Kaufman
Maybe
had to
that's
tell him-
why.
yeah.
Okay.
Kaufman had to tell him to knock it off. And well, I think the actor McCleary said, in hindsight, I could totally understand it, and it's totally okay. And maybe I came off too, that he went too nutso because he was playing such a nutso character that would just go over the top all the time. Stunt coordinator Scott Leva played him. And if you look at that scene, he's got that weird thing
Mhm.
over his head that he has at the beginning, like the
Mhm.
netted, I don't even know what it is. So you don't see him, but you do notice, boy, that guy's got bigger arms in this scene than I noticed before.
Yeah, listen, if I were cast in a movie like this and had to do a scene like that, and they came to me at the last minute and said, "We're going to use a stunt rapist for you," it'd be like,
I'd be so
"Thank
much
you."
happier. Yeah,
Oh
that'd be awesome.
yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't, Didn't hurt
Anyway,
his
feelings.
he wasn't bitching about it at all. And this is
Yeah.
so long after the fact that I don't know if he had a problem with it or not.
Mhm.
The other thing was, these are two different stories, so I don't know what really happened. McClary said that Beatrice Pons didn't want them to do the rape scene. I don't know if that, and that she wanted another $500 to be there to do the reactions. And he claimed that she got it. He thought she
good
got
for her.
it. But somebody else, I'm trying to think if it was Kaufman. I think it was Kaufman said, which is probably more true, the actor may not know what's going on behind the scenes, that she refused to be there for the rape scene. So they had to come back later and kind of fake reenact the rape scene with two guys, actually.
What?
And
Wow.
she
Oh,
sat
I
there
didn't
in
know
the
that.
chair and did her reactions. There's you see those the other thing that's kind of interesting is those Polaroids.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about those?
Well, they're just interesting, I think.
They're a lot different from the ones you have.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess I would imagine that they probably posed to take those shots, like that's what I would assume, but perhaps not. I don't know. I don't know how they made it, but
I don't know. And that was another thing where Kaufman said he was planning on taking those pictures, and the cinematographers had a big argument with him and said, "No, I'm taking those."
oh, okay. So they did them separately. I get it. Yeah. I mean,
So anyway, that whole scene is just weird. Who knows exactly what happened? And what he said was, so this time, then when they reshot the rape scene, then they had Michael McClary in there, and there was
Mhm.
some guy from the crew, and one of those pictures, it looks like the person is laying face down, so like he was on top. I don't know. So, I don't know. Who knows? And then you never know. Is that the footage they used or not? I don't know. Jesus. So Beatrice Pons was either there or not there, and got paid $500 extra or didn't.
They should make a movie about the making of this movie.
Well, I think they did a lot of interesting things. So, so you got on here the nasty.
Yeah, just some. There's a
Oh,
nice little hammer castration. It's well deserved.
Yeah, I like how she kisses her and tells her she
Yeah,
loves her.
it's
as
so
she
weird.
strangles her.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the crazy thing with these skits that they have, it's like, I guess these people just watch TV all day, so they, like everyone, have their own screenplays and all that they want to be part of the action. I think that's where a lot of the folks have said, "Oh, this is a black comedy, a dark satire." It's like, I don't know about that, but yeah, I get where that part.
It's supposed to be what they were going for is partially was like a I can't think of what I want to say, a satire or a spoof on junk culture. So like the ego thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
Instead of Est and the Hollywood party and all of the products they had in the house. I mean, I don't know if they got paid for all of that stuff, but it was all name brand stuff. A box of tricks. There was a little Batman. There's our Batman connection.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So
it's definitely there. It's a little unfocused.
It was just supposed to be like a takeoff of consumerism, or a rundown.
Interesting.
Everybody take a drink every time Crystal says interesting.
I'd be drunk.
I'm like, interesting.
very
Very
interesting.
interesting.
She had a mustache. You can borrow my mustache and twirl it like this.
Crystal says interesting the
Hmm.
same way I say
Hmm.
bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm like, tell me more.
I'm not sure if we may have gotten through.
I gotta
all the-
admit, the second photo is wonderful.
Yeah.
Might be my favorite photo.
That is.
Yep.
And it took me a minute to realize that was a hatchet. I kept thinking it was a sledgehammer, but it was a hatchet with a
Right.
blade on one end and the thing on the other. So that's why it looked like little giblets were falling out of it.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah.
giblets.
Giblet.
Oh, God, that
didn't
word
see
just
that?
grosses me
Maybe,
out.
maybe,
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
but
I
I
can
no,
see-
Giblets
There
isn't the
is-
first word that came to my mind.
yeah, that is like a word that totally grosses me out. Like my mom making gravy for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, bleh.
Giblet gravy.
Yep.
Ugh, that is disgusting.
Parts is parts.
Oh,
Well, it happens when he gets hit with the axe, and then it happens when he's laying there, and there
Mm.
seems to be things pouring out of his
Well, I imagine there would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Your raping
And he
days
gets
is
killed.
over.
Yep.
Is he the one that gets, or it's Ike? Ike's the one that gets killed like 3 times.
Hmm.
Right? First he gets
Mm.
Trying to
think it's
remember.
the Drano first. Or is
Oh
that
yeah, the
not
Drano.
first?
The Drano.
Yeah.
And he ends up with the TV.
And then he gets the TV. And then he chases him again.
What's his final?
Oh, the electric knife.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that was another one that they said the actress for that got a little ticked off because Kaufman
Squirting blood
and
in
somebody
her eye.
else were down at the bottom spraying blood up and got in her eye.
She was upset about that. Okay.
They
whatever.
kind of went a little extra. I mean, it was a lot.
like, look, okay. There's nothing I love more than
Get
being
splattered
covered in
with
blood.
yeah.
And I have worked with actresses that are like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Well,
Get
she
the fuck
said-
out of here.
It
I
probably
don't-
didn't help that it was hobby paint that they were spraying.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair
Well,
enough. That could be, yeah.
It's
But-
interesting from the point of view of that's what Kaufman and this other guy said. There was a assistant art direction credit for a guy named Rex Piano
Mhm.
that was like
That's a
they said
real
he had a huge personality and he did an unbelievable amount of things. Every time somebody needed something, he was running and doing it. And he ended up going on
Rex
and
Piano at 1-800.
producing and directing and stuff like that. So they said they told the story about her not really liking that, but when they interviewed her, she says, "Oh yeah, it was fun. It was a pain in the ass because we were in the woods so long, but they were at this Girl Scout camp, and the 3 leads shared a room together. They like bunked together,
Ugh. That's
for
a
the whole
nightmare.
thing. The only person who got a hotel room was Beatrice Pons, or they weren't really sure. Maybe I can't remember. Maybe we drove her back to New York. I don't know. So, all right.
Like,
So we have to talk about
oh.
the writer, Warren Leight. Did anybody look into him?
No.
No.
I believe this was his first credit, and he went on to write episodes of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. In fact, it says he's helming. I don't know if that means a showrunner or
directing.
a producer for Law and Order Criminal Intent, showrunner for Special Victims Unit. That's as a producer. He had 20 writing credits. Wow. He's got story, teleplay, or written by for 60 episodes of Law and Order Criminal Intent. So he got into that franchise and did a ton of stuff.
Oh, good for him.
And this was his first script. But Charles Kaufman told him, I need you on the set because there's probably going to be rewrites and I won't have time to mess with it. But I can't afford to pay you just as a writer. So
you have to do
you're going
something
to be
else
the
while you're on
boom
set.
operator. You're going to be the boom operator.
I knew it. Well, that's fair. I mean, you know.
Oh,
just
he
to be
was happy
sitting
to
around
do
doing
it. You know,
nothing. Yeah.
this is we kind of talked about this with Boogeyman and some of the other movies we've done where they're brand new into the business. They're happy to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Get the
And
experience
actually
and
doing
build
more
something.
stuff while you're on set is always good because you can learn
Yeah.
from
Yeah. So when they when they did that the Dauber scene, the flashback 10 years before.
Oh,
the guy that says "Call me Dauber," who's naked out in the baseball field. When they turn all the lights on, he jumps up and takes off running across the field. In the long shot, Warren Leight, you could see him standing down on the edge of the field. He's just standing there with the boom. Wide out in the open. And they said they gave him all kinds of crap about it. And he said, "Hey, that's not my fault.
How would he? Yeah, how would he
know where I
lose
was
the
standing?
shot? Come on. Yeah. That is not his fault.
Right. He
Nope.
held the mic. That's what they told him to do. He held
That
the
is
mic.
the director's and cinematographer's job. Both. They can both work together.
How dare you not be transparent?
Yeah.
Another double duty. The original stuntman, when he did, I'm not sure if this is right because they said they shot pretty much in order. So when
That's a good move.
Ike is chasing, is it Trina, and he falls down the hill? That stuntman is basically jumping down the hill.
Yeah. I thought he did a pretty good job.
He did, and he got hurt. So
because I grew up in that kind of land in upstate New York. And you could very easily start falling and just keep right on going, and it's fun until you hit a rock.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Or barbed wire, of which there was lots of mysterious barbed wire that would show up out of nowhere. Old.
So he got hurt. So then when they lowered, there supposedly Trina was in the sleeping bag and Abby was lowering her. They had a part of the time there was nothing in there, but part of the time they needed somebody in there. And
somebody? Why?
There was actually somebody in there during part of it. Well, and it was Meta Carter, who was the script supervisor. She was like the smallest person there. So they thought it would be good. She wouldn't weigh too much. So they got her to double as the stunt person, and the rope broke.
Of course.
And she ended up breaking an ankle. And they had to take her to the hospital.
Like, that was the stupidest thing ever. Like, I could have told them that this is not meant to hold someone. This is like way. Like,
and then the guy, and then these two guys doing the commentary. I think it was Charles Kaufman and Rex Piano going. But I think that was the only injuries we had. So only two people had to leave the shoot. Anyway, so double duty. They are doing double duty. So I think Susan Kaufman said she kind of got roped into. Oh, quickly while I'm thinking about this, the editor's name was Daniel Lowenthal, and he had worked with Charles Kaufman. Did a kind of a porn movie previous to this. Well, they tried to make it sound like it was artsier than most porn movies, and then it was like re-edited later on to be not, I don't know. But anyway, they had the person who was supposed to play Abby backed out at the last minute. So Nancy Hendrickson was Daniel Lowenthal, the editor's wife. So that was a move, casting of convenience, I guess. So anyway, I just think all this stuff is interesting. So she did a really good job going through that whole transformation at the end, where she kind of freaks out. She freaks out when Jackie dies in her arms, basically, and then comes to and drives it up there. And then she kind of has this weird out of body thing when she's choking Mother with the inflatable boobs. How can that not be? Jeez. All right. So I don't know when we're going to do this. So Susan Kaufman, she was the I don't know if you guys watch
that's the sister, isn't it? Isn't that their sister?
She's a sister, and she's the assistant set decorator on the marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Oh well,
Oh,
she
yeah.
did a great job. That's awesome. Yeah,
it is. It is. The Romanoffs. So she moved out of Troma into assistant set decorators a lot of places, but was also set decorator for Toxic Avenger.
Yay! The new one, the 2024, or the
I think
80s?
the original one. Zelig, she was assistant to the designer. Anyway, and then the I guess it's the wardrobe person, not art direction, costume design. Ellen Lutter was a friend of hers, and she ends up doing costume department for like Mississippi Burning. You don't mess with the Zohan.
Adam Sandler.
The Ridiculous Six. Who was
Adam
in that?
Sandler.
Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, here's these people that they just really, Charles Kaufman goes, you know anybody that could do the costumes? Yeah, let me ask my friend. Yeah, I'm sick of my job. I'll give it a shot, you know. I just find that,
I mean,
very strange.
kind of jealous.
All right.
That's awesome.
I think we still have the aforementioned Queenie.
God, what a oh my gosh.
Yeah,
looking there
that
like a
was weird.
rhesus monkey.
Yeah, that was weird.
And they so telegraphed it way
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, definitely.
She kept talking about Queenie.
Yep.
And then
She just
one of the
attacked
sons-
me. And you
Yeah,
me.
one of the sons talked about somebody cutting off her ear.
Yeah.
And so we get that zoom into the
Right. Now let's keep in mind something. Queenie is older than Mom. How she's awfully spry for her age. I mean, okay, so what happens right after this movie? I guess, but she's like 80 years old. She's gonna break a hip as soon as she lands in that superhero pose from this trampoline inspired leap here. Oh well. But we so booed this ending because it was so obvious, and it did not come as a shock. I mean, after having sat through Friday the 13th, where just about everybody fell out of their chairs when suddenly Jason shows up at the end, this was not that at all.
No.
Nice try, guys.
Nice try, guys.
Yeah.
They were sending spies across the lake at night to see what the Friday the 13th guys were doing.
I think it's got a shock ending like Carrie.
They basically, I think, went to the same bar when they had time off. The two casts, because there wasn't that much there. Anyway, I don't know. Anything else?
No.
Anybody?
Nope.
I think we covered it all.
Hey, you picked it.
Chad
You
is
picked it,
over
yeah.
this film. He's like, nope, I'm done. Turd bucket. I liked it, so that's me, but I get it. Like, it's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, I was entertained by it. It just, I don't know. I found it odd
It is odd
and
for
strange,
sure.
I guess.
And it is strange, but I mean, so am I. Ugh,
Aren't
that was
we all?
cringy. Sorry. Yeah, I know. Woof.
I can't remember. Did
Sorry,
I say?
guys.
Did I mention the cinematographer was Joe Mangine?
I don't remember
The
that
dancing
name,
machine?
but there's been a lot
The
of
dancing
names.
machine.
Oh, that was Mean Gene, the dancing
Oh, I
machine.
thought it was Joe Mangine, the dance machine.
So he did The Lords of Flatbush, Squirm.
I remember the theme song for the Lords of Flatbush.
There's an alligator.
Oh, I'm like piqued my interest there. There you go.
So
Interesting.
Neon Maniacs.
Oh wow!
The Swamp Thing TV series.
That was
in the
actually pretty good.
Early 90s.
Hmm.
So anyway, Alone in the Dark,
Oh, that was so good.
82. So yeah, they were very complimentary of the cinematographer because they thought that he added a lot to it. And
Yeah, I would agree. I think he was good.
kept him professional, kept the look professional. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay.
That's it for Mother's Day. Check it out on Shudder. There's also a Joe Bob
Yes.
Briggs treatment where Eli Roth is a guest and spends a lot of time talking about the movie.
You have to watch the Joe Bob version.
It's pretty good. Did you watch that one?
No,
Oh,
But
I
it's
need
all,
some
everything's
points,
better. Everything's always
but
better with Joe Bob.
everything's better with him.
He
well,
always gives
Eli
so much
Roth
information.
talks about a lot of. I mean, he you know how he is. He's kind of a train of thought kind of guy. He tells a lot of stories besides the strictly related to the movie. All right. Well, now.
Oh, I thought you were going to say more. I was like, yeah. And
No, I'm done. I'm done.
oh, okay.
Interesting.
Now we have feedback. We have some feedback. We
The
love
theme
feedback.
for today's show is
We love feedback.
it interesting?
Is
First
it?
one is episode 259 for Santa Sangre. And I'll just read this one because it's very short. Just found your channel. Great chat. And what a great movie. Cheers from Greece.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
And that's from C.H. Demas.
Cool.
If I'm saying that
Very
right.
cool. Well, thank you.
And
Love it.
salutations from
Yeah.
America.
It's a global world or something. And then this is awesome. Chad, you get to read this one. Damien Aceteo on Santa Sangre.
My man Damien says, gentlemen and ladies, yes, that includes you, Princess Dragon Mom. Hey,
I like that. That's
take
We
it
haven't
back.
used that for a long time. We need to resurrect
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Thanks, Damien.
no, don't.
what?
I wanted to give my feedback on this weird, outrageous, and what the film I just watched. I figured it would be best to watch it before I heard the Grue Crew's review of it, and it looks like great minds think alike. Watching this film, it's hard to believe this movie was made in 1989. The cinematography makes this look much older, like an early to mid 70s look. Yeah, it did. I originally thought it was from the 70s when I first heard about it. Also, it completely read to me like Jodorowsky's take on Psycho. The structure is there, a family with a circus instead of a hotel, a young man tormented by the thought of his mother running his life. Only difference is we get a bedroom murder instead of a shower scene, and a murder in the style of an Italian giallo. And in the big reveal, there's no dead body of a mother, but a giant marionette. Aside from a few detours of the story, this is just a retelling of Psycho, in my opinion. I almost wish he did more horror films. I can see it now. Jodorowsky presents Fury of the Wolfman. Ha ha ha. He can't touch that movie. Okay. Anyways, another great review, guys. And as always, continued success and good health to you all for the second half of the year. Thanks, Damien.
Yeah, thanks, Damien.
Thanks, Damien.
And no thanks for bringing up the Princess Dragon Mom BS again.
Princess Dragon Mom sounds cool.
Here.
Yeah, she is.
Well, let's do the first Jerry Chandler to Crystal because he's responding to the episode prior to this, the feedback that we read about it. So.
Roger that. Mr. Jerry Chandler, listening to the reading of the feedback for just the next line for Crystal to have to read. Everyone should make a point of seeing Jodorowsky's Dune. It's an amazing documentary. And he did mention this to me. So I said, I definitely want to. I love Dune. I freaking love Dune. And I even like the new Dune as well. But I really love Dune. It's when I fell in love with like Kyle. Right? Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah. Yeah. I fell in love with him with that. I was like,
I didn't until Twin Peaks.
Well, that too. Yeah. I mean, okay. The book I referenced was 2003's Fangoria's 101 Best Horror Movies You've Never Seen, a celebration of the world's most unheralded fright flicks. That sounds awesome. The UK viewers can't make but so much noise about mangling names. Oh,
we talked about that.
Yes, I'm just the sentence. I wonder. Okay, I have multiple friends from the UK. They murder the names around here. That is true. Yep. Enrico, pronounced Enrico. Oh, or Enrico. Oh, wait, see, I would say Enrico, but it's Enrico. Is almost universally called Enrico by my UK friends. So I would have pronounced it, I guess, the UK way. They call the Powhite Parkway. Powhite, like, so I wasn't too far off. The Powhite Parkway. Jeez. Okay. So yeah. And don't get us Virginians started
it's called LA.
Yeah. Don't get us Virginians started on how they mess up Chilhowie, Bumpass, Dumfries, and Assawoman.
Dumfries.
Which we probably just did, right?
Chilhowie. Chilhowie. Maybe it's Chilhowie.
There's all
Chilhowie.
Chilhowie.
Yeah.
Dumfries.
Bumpass.
Bumpass.
I don't know.
But Dumfries and Assawoman? Assawoman. 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 Man.
The A in the middle.
Wow. See what you started, Jerry.
Whatever, Jerry.
Well,
you got me. You got me good.
I'll see if I get these right. There's 2 small towns in Iowa within like 15, 20 miles of me that are spelled Nevada and Madrid, but they're called Nevada and Madrid.
Huh?
If you call the town Madrid, people would look at you funny. Or Nevada.
Maybe.
I was thinking the same thing.
Anyway, local towns named after other places that are mispronounced, I guess. All right. Thank you, Jerry.
Oh, like Sonoy here. It's like Senoi. Like I did not know how to pronounce it till my neighbor told me. It's Sonoy. That's where they filmed The Walking Dead. I was like Sonoy.
Okay.
Senoi or something. And she's like Sonoy. Duh.
Des Moines.
It's like, I got it. Okay, I totally got it. But it's like, it's NIA. That's how it ends. Not like Des Moines. Like, it's weird. It's very weird.
So episode 260, The Boogeyman, which just came out a couple of days ago from Jerry Chandler. Bill?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Jerry says, I absolutely love The Boogeyman. When I saw it on cable in 1982 or 1983 as part of a weekend horror block. Then I didn't see it again for close to 20 years. They put a DVD out that had The Boogeyman and the Devonsville Terror on it as a double feature sometime around the late 90s or very early 2000s. I bought it. I didn't watch it again until, like Crystal, I saw that Shudder was streaming it a little while back. I was watching. I remembered why I hadn't watched it since buying the damn DVD. I don't think I disliked it as much as some of you, but wow, watching it again after all those years, you just keep seeing wasted potential. There's a brilliant movie in there. This just ain't the film that found that brilliant movie and brought it to the masses. Even now, I want to like this movie more than I do, but they really dropped the ball with it. I still can't believe this movie got a Vinegar Syndrome 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray release last year that sells for over $40. Not worth that price unless they had double featured it with Deathbed.
The bed that eats.
Yeah,
it wasn't over $40.
Speaking of Vinegar Syndrome, they are going to release Trick or Treat. You know that, right? Because I know we did Trick or Treat here.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah. So it's getting the treatment. They're going to have 3 different covers for you to choose from.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just so y'all know, it's probably going to be like 60, but
I'm getting
kind of worth it. Yeah. 4K. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be cool.
That's the big new race to 4K.
Yeah.
Criterion, Vinegar
How
Syndrome,
clear does it have to be?
Severin,
I know. I'm
Yeah.
okay with it as long. I
Scream
mean, I had
Factory.
DVDs, which I hate.
I
but
haven't.
as long as it's Blu-ray, I'm usually pretty okay.
Yeah, I haven't gone back and replaced anything, but it's hard to, they
When I
package
first
it
watched a
together.
DVD, I thought it was the greatest thing man's
of
ever
course.
invented.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah. All right. Also on Boogeyman from Robert Baker, Chad.
Robert says, couldn't agree more with the crew about this one. But what's really scary is I remember the sequel being worse. There was a sequel? Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
Two
Yeah,
of
we
woof.
talked
Two
about
of
it.
them, yeah.
But what I wanted to share is about how I saw this movie. Back in the late 80s, one of our local TV stations ran a horror host show at 11 p.m. on Saturday night. Don't remember the show name, but it was hosted by Dungeon Doug and Mulligan Cadaver.
That's
Oh, that's a mouthful.
awesome.
Yeah.
Doug was a guy dressed like an undertaker in a top hat with a hangman's noose for a necktie. Mulligan was a plastic life-size skeleton who was posed all over the set, and some one-off camera would move his mouth as he spoke his lines.
Okay, well,
That
that's
sounds great.
What made this show different was that they showed modern horror movies. I saw things like Boogeyman, Vamp, Night of the Creeps, Silver Bullet, Children of the Corn, Night of the Comet, The Howling, Creepshow 2, Ghoulies, TerrorVision, and just about every Empire picture ever made, it seemed like, among many others. After a year or so, the show ended, but to this day, I fondly remember racing home from whatever I was doing to catch the show. Anything I saw there is definitely nostalgia for me. I've looked it up online in the past, but so far can find no mention of the show, but it sure was fun while it lasted. Very cool.
Cool.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Robert.
We love horror
I know,
hosts around here.
I know I've talked about it before, but our local station had a show called Gravesend Manor. And there was I may have this screwed up, the Duke of Desmondes was the vampire. And there was a guy dressed as a woman.
It was it like it wasn't Desmonius, like
No, it was like Des Moines, Desmondes.
Wow, that's weird.
But yeah, that's what they were trying to find a play on. And a guy named Claude, who was sort of a hunchback guy that just grunted and ran around the studio causing havoc. I can't think of what the woman's name, the man dressed as a woman, what her name was. Anyway. All right. Appreciate it, Robert. We also have one from Travis McDonald. Crystal.
Okay. I did find a YouTube video on horror host Dungeon Doug. Dr. Gangrene has it up on his YouTube.
Oh,
if you
okay.
want to check that out from the 1980s. Yeah, horror host Dungeon Doug. It's literally called that. So just
Cool.
okay. So we're at Travis McDonald. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Actually, Dr. Gangrene was one of the ones we did for DragonCon TV last year.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
That's
okay.
excellent.
Just discovered this channel about a month ago. I'm hooked on it. Of course you are, Travis. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Great banter and chemistry with the host with terrific insight on the films reviewed. Keep up the great work. Also, I don't know if requests are taken. We'll take them for sure. But would you guys ever consider reviewing From a Whisper to a Scream? That's a great film. Best wishes to all. So we will totally take that into consideration.
Yeah.
A lot of what we actually review.
I thought we had done that.
We did do that one.
We did that one in the 70s, yeah.
Oh, it's 70s.
No, it's an 80s. It's an 80s.
It's
It's the
Oh.
one,
Yeah.
That's the one where Vincent Price hosts
Right.
a loosely connected anthology.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Like Jeff Burr.
Okay.
Jeff Burr, director.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good guy.
So
hey, Crystal, can I just ask something here?
So I sent him a link to that.
Yeah.
So
What's
Travis should know that.
I just noticed Facebook brought up a memory from 2019 that you and I were on a panel at Con Carolinas. We did a horror news radio live. Was that when we first met?
I think so. I think that was the first time we met.
So we've only known each
it
other for
had to be-
5 years. It feels
No,
like it's been longer.
No.
But I think that
maybe.
might be. Yeah, it just feels like we've known each other much longer than 5 years.
Forever. I
I was
know.
shocked
I'm like
to see
5 years seems
2019.
quiet.
Wow.
Ooh.
Is
Well,
that
I
supposed
mean,
to be a
but we-
compliment that you feel like you've known her for more than
No, Yeah, but you know what it might be, Bill, because we've been doing the podcast for longer. But that was the first time we actually but I think we met before then. I feel like, but maybe not.
Well, we were together at Wreak Havoc.
Yeah.
But Bill
in
was
2019
and Chad. Okay, so see,
seems like
that was 2019 as well.
What was our first podcast together, all four of us?
I'm just looking here.
Crazy.
It was before 2019. It was like
it wasn't Humanoids from the Deep, but it was somewhere around there.
Oh, it was Humanoids from the Deep.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
That wasn't the first one. You guys always say that, but it wasn't. The first one we did was City of the Living Dead.
You're right. That's it.
What year was that?
That was the summer of 2019. So
okay, so it was 2019.
Wow. It
just rice.
Followed by Reanimator, The Thing, Humanoids from the Deep.
Why do I always think it's Humanoids from the Deep?
Because if you ever
always talks about it.
Because I always talk about because I will listen to that on constant replay because it makes me laugh. We had so much fun with that. I think that's the one where we really clicked all together.
Yeah, that's like the craziest movie ever made.
Yeah.
Like, come on. They're fish rapers. Like, it's insane.
I mean, what are you going to say? You got four people, you're doing John Carpenter's The Thing. It's great. No, I think it's great. No, I think it's even greater.
You're right. Because I remember thinking, what's Crystal going to think about this?
Yeah. And,
the woman in the crew, and she was like all into it more than even us.
That's absolutely.
Yeah.
Mutant
rapey fishmen. Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I appreciate the feedback, guys.
Yes.
Robert, Jerry, and
Travis,
Damien, and whoever was from Greece, C.H. Demas.
Demas, yeah.
As I'm guessing the name.
Demas. Makes me think of Fallout.
We love feedback. You can leave feedback on the Gruesome Magazine YouTube channel. Just make comments on the episodes, or you could send an email to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com. We really appreciate that. That's it for this episode. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1980 and 1989. Ooh. Next up one is chosen by me. And I'm picking Road Games.
Oh, good choice. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ozploitation from director Richard Franklin and starring Stacy Keach and Jamie Lee Curtis. Are you going to say we did that, Chad?
No.
Oh, okay. Did we do that? And that's out there. It's on Prime, Peacock, Tubi, and Pluto TV right now, plus pay-per-view in some places. So I was really I tried hard to find Terror Vision. That's what I wanted to do, but
that's hard to find.
I couldn't find it streaming for free. So I'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
So Road Games. Yes.
Yeah.
We haven't done any Ozploitation for a little teeny bit.
Now since Razorback.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
That was a good one.
That sounds right. Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the 1980s. As only decades of horror can do it. Thank you, one and all, for listening, and thank you, Chad, Bill, and Crystal, for showing up.
Thank you for having us.
You're lucky we did.
Mm-hmm.
Watching the mother, yeah. It's been fun lately.
You've been doing this crap yourself.
It's been fun lately. So say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.